Hey everyone, finished watching the next episode of Operation Overdrive, Nothing to Lose. Moltor has a boring new monster. The Rangers fight them. I'm gonna zone out for a while. The fights are cool, yeah, but there's no stakes. The Rangers might as well be robots, the way they're just going through the motions. Mac takes some dangerous risks, thinking he won't get hurt. The monster grows, but the Rangers don't immediately call the Zords for some reason. Sentinel Knight remembers he's alive and goes to fight the monster. Tyzon assists with his Megazord. Together they defeat it. The Rangers battle Moltor and get the key to the sarcophagus from last episode. They head to the mansion and prepare to go back to Egypt to try the key. They discuss Moltor having the crown. They need that to activate the jewels. Spencer, for some reason, comes in and tells them not to go to Moltor's volcano because it's not inhabitable. Haven't they gone there before? What about Mac or Sentinel Knight? Heat wouldn't be a problem for them. That's exactly what happens. Mac goes off on his own to Moltor's volcano. The other Rangers join, and what do you know, they're all fine. The interior begins to collapse, and the Rangers have to leave without the crown. Moltor escapes and goes to Flurious. He brings along Vela. Moltor gives Flurious the crown, and Flurious repays him by freezing him and smashing him to bits. It's a cool, pun not intended, scene, but I feel like these two just don't have the depth to pull off a betrayal like this. At the mansion, Mr. Hartford scolds Mac for going off on his own. Mac doesn't listen. He tells him that he's expendable. If something happens, just go ahead and build another. The Rangers go to Egypt and use the key to open the sarcophagus. Inside is a single coin. Mr. Hartford appears to recognize the coin. Flurious plans an invasion of Hartford Mansion. Norg talks to Vela. She tells him she's looking for Tyzon. He remembers him from when he helped pull the spike out of his foot. Back at the mansion, Mr. Hartford shows the Rangers an indentation on his mummy display. The coin fits in it perfectly. Rose displays her weird superpower of somehow just knowing stuff from a few episodes ago and holds the jewels out to the mummy. It suddenly comes to life. After the initial redundant action of this episode, it actually picks up. It's still not great and suffers from a lot of Overdrive's usual issues. There's a repetitive back and forth with the Rangers going to and from the sarcophagus in Egypt, pre-established things being contradicted and new things just coming out of nowhere. Moltor's new monster is about as generic as they come. Nothing stands out with him, not even his voice is unique. His voice was provided by Mark Wright. He's had roles in nearly every season shot in New Zealand. He began in Ninja Storm and remained all the way until Cosmic Fury. He had pretty much one voice he'd use for many monsters he voiced, just deep and growly. Some characters of his stand out, but many were pretty interchangeable. Spencer being so insistent they not go to Moltor's volcano was really forced. It's just to create a conflict when Mac goes on his own. Mac could have taken Sentinel Knight along. Of course, that would mean remembering that Sentinel Knight exists, and we can't have that. Moltor has Vela held captive. This has got to be the biggest WTF in all of Overdrive. This is worse than Icenia and SPD being revealed to have been alive the whole time. The one element Vela has over Icenia is that she at the very least got one teensy bit of foreshadowing. I have no idea how or when or why Moltor kidnapped Vela. I guess maybe she could have followed Tyzon to Earth and he captured her soon after he turned Tyzon into a monster, or possibly Vela came to Earth first, he captured her, and that's how he knew where to find Tyzon. That's all just a guess on my part. None of that is actually explained in the show. Maybe next episode she'll tell Tyzon, but it doesn't change how sudden and abrupt her reveal is here. The scene where Flurious kills Moltor is frustrating. It's a well-done scene, I just wish these two had more depth. Back in Power Rangers in Space, Darkonda tried several times to stab Ecliptor in the back. Back then, the villains were relatively flat and one-note, but Ecliptor stood out as he had his own set of morals, and Darkonda's motivations and goals were clear. He's a despicably evil monster who likes being despicably evil. Moltor and Flurious have vague backstories, but unclear goals. Flurious has a bit more personality than Moltor, but in the end, they're just far less interesting characters. When Darkonda takes vile glee in seeing Ecliptor brainwashed, I feel something. When Flurious kills his brother, all I feel is that this would have a lot more impact if these two were more developed. Norg talks to Vela, and he thinks when she says Taizan, she means a different person. A while ago, though, didn't Taizan say his name was common on his planet? One episode to go, and despite some weak episodes towards the end and stumbles elsewhere, I enjoyed Overdrive for the most part. Its biggest problems are problems I've had with the Disney era as a whole. Inconsistent tone, weak characterization, forgettable villains, rushed conclusions. At least the music has improved since Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder. They're near unwatchable thanks to the constant repetitive stock music. Next time, we'll finally see what's so great about the Corona Aurora. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.